Good morning. So here we are, and it's a Monday. That's exciting. So, hope everybody had an amazing weekend. My weekend was pretty good. Got to see family, got to hang out. You know, it's funny, I was reading about how when we get ourselves used to things like meditating, that our minds start getting in gear before, I have a set time every day, 7:15. But I had just kind of realized today, as I was getting ready for, in the bathroom brushing my hair, all this other wonderful stuff. And I could tell already that my mind was already starting to get in that mindset. So I think it's kind of like going to sleep. It's like you get used to going to sleep at a particular time. And so before you go to sleep, you start yawning. Well, I think that I've noticed that before I come in here to do the reflection, essentially meditating, that now, even before I start, my brain knows, and it's doing some kind of a mental yawn, except for not going to sleep, but to gear up for doing this. And I just thought it was really interesting as I was sitting there. So I guess it does have an effect. So, coming up next month will be 1 year of having this channel. So, it'll be when I started listening to the cards like they're the waves of the ocean. So listen to this. Taking a breath and then just listening. Like the waves of the ocean. Just letting my shoulders relax and making sure my neck is loose. Taking those breaths. That is just nothing but preparing ourselves for meditation. Prayer is when you sit back and you ask for something. Meditation is when we sit back and listen. So that's kind of what we do here. We listen. We breathe. Then we see what the universe has for us today. Good morning, Maureen and Dragonheart and Carla. Yeah, really. So Maureen's saying it's a rare and precious thing to discover that habits can be good. Yeah, yes. I have developed, hopefully, a good habit here. To counteract, one good habit helps counteract the other 20 bad ones. I don't have that many bad habits. I don't drink, I don't smoke, but coffee. That is my one habit. So what does the universe have for us today? What tips or tricks? What angers or resentments can we look at before they pop up today? So maybe we look at them now. Maybe we can react differently. Maybe we can learn something now. Here's my stack going out to the universe. Each one of these stacks now is a different web. Each one of these is a choice. And every day we have a choice to make. Today we're just going to choose which stack we have here, and each one of these stacks is a thread. But any choice we make is its own stack also. And we have to use our intuition. We have to understand where that decision will take us by what thread we pull, because each one of these will ultimately lead us in a different direction. And since today's Monday, let's take a look at the bottom. Let's see what's underneath it all. Take that extra breath. Okay. I'll do my 3 and 1. And so this morning we have justice. So that's a major, so that is something to definitely pay attention to. It could be legal. It could be about having the ability to see things clear-sightedly. Clear-sightedly? Seeing things clearly. Being impartial. But then we have the Hermit turning its back on them, on justice. So here we have 2 majors. Anytime 2 majors pop up in a reading, it's good to pay attention because, as I always say, the minors are the day-to-day cards. Those are just, things that we have an attitude or we can change, or we can look at a goal and we can try and achieve that goal for the day. But the majors are the destiny cards. Those are the ones to pay attention to. So what is the Hermit looking at? The Hermit reversed. Hermit's about where justice is about being clear-sighted, seeing things, examining the evidence that's before us. The Hermit is about going in to examine that evidence. The Hermit's about seeking not only what is seen, which is justice. The Hermit's about going in and seeing the unseen. It's examining the evidence of our knowledge and our wisdom and what we've gained in the past. Justice will say, I know because these are the facts. The Hermit will say, I know the facts, but I know how they come together. Justice says 1 + 1 = 2. The Hermit can say, through my past experience, 1 + 1 can also equal M. Justice may not be able to make sense of that, but the Hermit, because we go in, we use the culmination. But he's reversed, which means he's not doing that. And then the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords reversed. So the 10 of Swords looks like this big horrible card. But the thing is with the 10 of Swords is that nobody has such a bad day. It's like, as I always say, this guy's laying here and he's like, here he's got his fingers, he's going, I'm okay, even though he's got all these swords in him. This is the person that will, this is when we feel like we over-exaggerate, it's like, you think your day's bad, well, I've got a sword sticking out of my ear kind of day. So it's just that mental anguish that we go through sometimes where it's just really overwhelming, and so we have it reversed. So what this is saying is that sometimes we exaggerate. We don't, we have the facts laid out before us, but we don't want to see them. So we choose not to internalize that information. But ultimately, even though we are feeling this anxiety and all this other stuff, at least over a period of time we'll realize that it really was not that bad. So justice could be whatever facts we have laid out, but we don't want to look at them. The Hermit's just going to go with the flow, and it's just going to try and make its own sense. It doesn't like the facts, so we change the facts. And maybe, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, maybe that's what we need. Let me turn over the advice card. The King of Wands. The King of Wands, okay. So, sometimes maybe the facts are just too much. So maybe we need to stop looking so much at what's going on. When we have things going on, mental issues going on, our brain is just overloaded. And here we have the Hermit who wants to sit there and just focus on whatever this negative situation is. He will just examine it, stare at the past, and just live in that past moment as he gains wisdom. Maybe this is saying that we spend way too much time doing that. Maybe if we just stop focusing on it. We have our facts. Stop focusing, stop doing that pinpoint staring at this situation. Instead of staring at the past and staring at the problem, turn the Hermit around and just let the information flow through so that we're not like this, where it's just, again, the Hermit would just sit here, oh, let's look at this for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, stop torturing yourselves, let the swords fall out and take some time. Yeah, Marine, exactly. And so what is the advice with the King of Wands? Well, the king is thought. He's air. He's the one that rules a kingdom. He understands things. He, being the wands, is fire and energy. So, mirrored against the Hermit, the Hermit is slow as a frozen crystal lake, because the Hermit wants to stare at what's underneath that lake. Whereas the King of Wands is fast and fiery and wants to just cauterize the wound. So today, what is it that we want to hide beneath that frozen crystal lake and just analyze and stare at, take our facts and freeze them, and it's just absorb that, whatever that pain could be, and just stare at it and wallow in it. And instead of doing that, maybe it's time to stop looking so much at it. Let the King of Wands do his thing. Throw those things that we're staring at into the fire. Cauterize the wound. And exactly let the swords start to fall. So, with that, it's Monday, start of another week. I hope everybody has an amazing start to their week. Hope they find that fire and energy. I hope that things just go pretty good today. I don't think that's asking too much. So, take care. I will be here again tomorrow. Thank you for all the help you guys have given me, and I will see you later. Thank you.